Okay, let's dive right in. We're witnessing one of the biggest shakeups in modern business, and it's all happening at the intersection of artificial intelligence and corporate responsibility. Today, we're going to break down how AI is completely rewriting the playbook for how companies are run, especially when you start talking about their environmental and social impact. But first, let's just ask a really fundamental question. In this super complex world we live in, are the people at the very top, the boards, the directors, the execs, are they basically just flying blind? And, well, the short answer, yeah, a lot of them are. See, they're facing this absolute tsunami of data on environmental, social, and governance, what we call ESG. And with all that information swirling around, a lot of leaders are really struggling to see the whole picture. And that, right there, is the core problem we're digging into. So let's talk about that data tsunami. This is our first big point, the ESG data overload. This whole problem really breaks down into what people call the three V's. First up, you've got volume. I mean, just overwhelming amounts of information. Then there's velocity. This stuff isn't just sitting there, it's being generated in real time, every single second. And finally, you have variety. And this is a big one. We're not talking about nice, neat spreadsheets here. We're talking about everything. News, social media posts, official reports, you name it. And the reality is, there's just no way you can have a team of people manually digging through all of that and expect to have a clear, up-to-the-minute picture of what's going on. It's impossible. The old way of doing things, it's officially broken. Which, of course, brings us to the solution. AI, the governance game changer. I mean, this slide really tells the whole story, right? It's a tale of two boardrooms. On one hand, you have the old way, always reacting to problems after they happen, relying on manual reports that are basically out of date by the time you read them, and let's be honest, a whole lot of guesswork. But then, look at the AI-powered way. It's proactive, it's automated, and it's driven by data. It is a total transformation. And that's why this idea of AI as a co-pilot is so perfect. It's not about replacing the human leaders, not at all. It's about giving them a powerful tool. AI takes that total chaos of data we were just talking about and distills it into strategic clarity. It turns the noise into a signal that helps them actually steer the ship. Okay, so that's the big picture. But how does this stuff actually work? Let's get into the nuts and bolts of how AI supercharges what a board can do. It really comes down to a simple three-step process. First, the AI goes out and automatically collects all that data from everywhere. Step 2, it does the thing that humans just can't. It analyzes these massive datasets to find hidden patterns and spot risks you'd never see otherwise. And then, the third and most important step, it turns all that analysis into real, actionable insights that the board can use to make smart decisions. And this is where things get really powerful, especially when it comes to managing risk. I mean, think about things like horizon scanning. The AI is constantly monitoring global news and social media to spot the next big problem before it hits. It can build predictive models to forecast threats to a company's reputation. It can even audit the entire supply chain in real time, assessing everything from ethics to sustainability. It can even model the financial impact of climate change on the business. It's like having a superpower. But it's not just about playing defense and avoiding risk. It's also about playing offense. AI can automate the super tedious process of putting together sustainability reports, which gives investors the transparent data they're screaming for. But even cooler, it can actually help identify brand new business opportunities and figure out how to allocate resources to make the biggest possible positive impact. Okay, but we have to pause here because this is absolutely critical. With all this power comes a ton of responsibility. The tech is amazing, but it's only half the story. We have to talk about how we govern AI ethically. And this quote, I think, just hits the nail on the head. The goal is not to have a machine making the final call. No way. The real magic happens when you combine those hardcore AI-generated insights with seasoned, empathetic human judgment. That's the winning formula. So what this means is the board has a whole new set of responsibilities. It's like a new part of their job description. They have to set up clear rules for how AI is used. They need to be actively hunting for and mitigating bias in the systems. Of course, data privacy and security have to be top-notch. And maybe the biggest one of all, they have to decide who's ultimately accountable when a decision is made using AI. That's a huge weight to carry. When you put all this together, it's clear we're talking about a completely new way of doing things. This isn't some passing trend. This is the future of governance. And that future really revolves around this idea of the AI-literate boardroom.
And what's so interesting is that this isn't really a tech thing, it's a culture thing. It's about creating a boardroom where directors are actually curious about data, where they lean in to understand the technology, and where they can build a bridge between leadership and the tech teams.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? It's simple. Using data-driven oversight isn't just a nice little advantage anymore. It's the new baseline. It's table stakes for any business that wants to be seen as sustainable and responsible today. And that leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought. When you think about the incredible speed of change, all the risks, and all the opportunities we've talked about, is a company's actual survival now directly tied to the digital literacy of its leaders? The more you look at it, the more the answer seems to be a resounding yes. And the gap between the companies that get this and the ones that don't, well, it's getting wider by the day.